Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another live edition of the Shooters Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt at Post Up 323. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. You can follow us on the socials at Shooters Lounge 3 and also follow us on YouTube and also listen to this back on podcast form on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. So, game 2 is in the books. Just finished it and probably not as exciting as game 1, but there's always something to talk about. So we've got the returning AB. What's happening again, AB?
It's good to be back, man. Good to be back. Less emotional as game 1, but it's still an NBA Finals game at the end of the day.
That's it, bro. Good to have you on as always. And we have a returning guest, a brief hiatus, but now he's back again talking hoops. We've got Jord. Welcome back again, Jord.
Thanks for having me, man. I always appreciate it. The streak was broken, but not for long.
Just a week or so off, mate. Yeah, after a brief hiatus, mate. But always good to have you on, bro. Always a pleasure. So, so game 2 just finished, guys. It's in the books. So, OKC Thunder winning it 123-107, tying it up. The series is now tied 1-1. Now going back for a couple of games now in Indiana. So, AB, what were your thoughts regarding this game, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of expected some sort of reaction from OKC, especially the way they lost in game 1. We said off air, I said to you just before we went live, I was a bit cautious, so I was a bit worried about them the opening couple of minutes because they looked like all over the place. That they looked like it was like a game 7 and they were down like 10 in the fourth quarter and they were just pushing the pace. They were trying to win the game. I think they said on a call best, they were trying to win the game in the first quarter. Obviously, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. And I think they really showed their age for the first part, especially Chet Holmgren. But they grew into the game in that first quarter. Obviously, they came out with the same lineup as game 1 with Cason Wallace in for Isaiah Hartenstein. Yeah. So Mark Daigneault stuck to like his guns, even though the first time he done it in game 1 they lost. But the defense was really good. They got going. They got going in that game 2. It was obviously it's interesting again because we spoke about this in game 1. Them just allowing corner threes and them just collapsing in the paint and stuff like that. So that sort of happened again, but towards the end of the game, they kind of like figured that out and adjusted it, and the defensive intensity, particularly engaging on the corner threes, that improved a lot as well. But yeah, it's a good win for OKC, and it's something that we kind of anticipated happening after game 1.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, like you say, I think there was just a lot more contested threes, wasn't there, than corner threes that Indiana were getting, and I think OKC did a better job of Indiana getting into the paint, so they couldn't kick out for those corner threes. So it was a lot more difficult for Indiana to kind of score the basketball. George, what were your thoughts on game 2 tonight?
There's a worrying trend developing. Tyrese Halliburton is not being aggressive. It's blatantly obvious. He passed up on so many opportunities to get to the paint earlier on, and I think I was maybe more aware to it in the third quarter because I've just not seen him doing it at all in the first half. He had 5 shot attempts at half time. That's just not good. It's not good enough. I don't know why he's not doing it. It's not as if he's going to the paint and there's a brick wall in front of him and he's then throwing a pass out. He's not even trying. He's not even trying. I mean, this is supposed to be your guy. This is supposed to be the guy. Everyone started giving him flowers, and now, as soon as everyone starts giving you flowers, now is when you want to start. Now is when you want to do it. Why don't you do this like 2 months ago so that we could just agree with what everybody? Why do it now? That's my concern. And they are so reliant on him. If he can't produce, then it's absolutely toast. Because his counteract, the MVP Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he's showing why he's the MVP right now.
Mm.
And this is what they talk about when they say MVP blood. If you've got MVP blood, then you're the MVP. You're going to show out. But he's just getting turned over every single time. I mean, how often have we spoken, even before the final started, Matt, how many times have we talked about the fact that Tyrese Halliburton has hardly been turned over? His turnover to assist ratio is through the roof. He's been turned over so many times by this Thunder defense, and I don't understand how he could go from
tonight.
He's just gone from like hero to villain, really. And
I mean, that's harsh, man. You literally hit the game winner like the other day. Like he's a villain in game 2. Like,
look, all I'm saying is I called the Pacers losing game 1. They lost. I called the Pacers winning game 1. They won it. I called the Thunder blowing them out tonight. They blew them out. I am sensing in my Nostradamus predictions that the signs aren't there. And all right, AB, I hear what you're saying. He's shot the game winner in game 1. Brilliant. I remember the Celtics taking a 1-0 lead against the Warriors in 2023 and thinking, we're going to win this series. What a display we've just put in on their court. And then everything changed because the momentum isn't there. I don't know what's happened to Halliburton, but to go from consistently, outside of there was the one game in the Eastern Conference Finals where he didn't put up the numbers, didn't perform that well. He hasn't performed well for 2 games in a row now in the finals. And it's 2 games to 0. There's no cross.
Whoa. Game 1, man. It was quiet, but that's his game. He's not an aggressive scorer.
How many times did he turn the ball over in game 1?
It doesn't matter. He can turn it 20 times. You hit the game winner. You hit the game. You rise up when it matters most. Everyone forgets about the turnovers. So it's just the way the game goes. You're a point guard. If you're the primary ball handler of the ball, you're going to turn the ball over. So,
but he's out of character because he doesn't do it game to game. He's known around the league as one of the safest ball handlers in the league. In the conference semi-finals, he turned the ball over once across the whole series. He turned the ball over 3 times in game 1. He turned the ball over 4 times tonight. 7 turnovers in 2 games compared to 1 turnover in the previous 6 games against the Knicks. Yeah. That is massively concerning because, yes, okay, it doesn't matter. He scored. He put the game winner in there, and they've won the game. But when you're looking at the fact that all of a sudden he's turning it over, he's your primary ball handler. There's issues there. Now, I wouldn't expect that a Sixers fan would understand that because this is an alien concept.
Wait, have you seen the OKC defense?
You've got to give them credit, bro.
Do you know who Lu Dort is? Do you know who Lu Dort is? And then off the bench, you've got Caruso coming off the bench. These are all world defenders, point of attack defenders. So you can't say, he didn't turn the ball over against the Knicks. Now he's got 7 turnovers in 2 games. He's not that guy. Like, you have to understand, this is the finals. He's coming against a team that won 68 regular season games and has like 3 all defensive caliber players on that roster. And you got to think about it. Who's their worst defender in that starting 5? What, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the 6'6" guard who won MVP? That's your weakest defender. How do you expect him to cope?
He has started slow. He has started slow in both games, guys. It's pretty safe to say. In both games, he has started slow. And I think,
Yeah, he hasn't been. Yeah.
Are you putting that down to OKC's defense, or are you putting that down to Halliburton not being aggressive enough? It depends how you view it. Me personally, I think that's down to OKC's defense, and they've just got. You see it when Halliburton goes in the paint, they just kind of surround him, and there's hands and there's arms everywhere, and they create turnovers. I think that is on OKC's defense, and that's what they've shown all year. Personally, George, do you agree, or have you got a different view of that?
I mean, obviously, like, I rattled on a little bit there. I'm curious to see what AB thinks about it, because I've got my own opinion, but I feel like AB might have a slightly different one to me.
AB,
what's that? What with the with the question that he posed?
Yeah, is George just wondering if you've got the same opinion as to, is it OKC's defense, or is it Halliburton not being aggressive enough, or not doing enough to, make it harder for OKC? I don't know.
I actually think it's a bit of both, but I think I'd lean more towards Halliburton not being aggressive enough, because as Jordan mentioned, like having 5 shot attempts in like the first half is not really it's not really good enough when you obviously, especially in the finals, you've already won a game, but you don't really want to take your foot off the gas. But at the same time, you have to remember he's not a natural scorer like that. He's more of a facilitator, getting guys going. Yes, we can compare him to his counterpart Shea, but Shea is someone who obviously is aggressive and can get you a bucket sort of thing. Whereas Halliburton is more of like a floor general type. But that being said, you can't be attempting 5 shots. Like we saw in the fourth quarter, we saw how aggressive he was in the fourth quarter. He had like 12 points, 12 points in the fourth quarter, which is already more than he had in the first 3 quarters. So it's definitely in him, but it's just that we need to see more of that if you want to lead the Pacers on. Because as Jordan said, like you're the man. Like I know Siakam got Eastern Conference MVP and all the kind of things, but it's your team. Like you're the guy with the ball in his hand, so you need to be aggressive, and you like the team goes where you go at the end of the day. So yeah, he has to be better from that perspective, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. George, you got retort there?
I mean, I'm not going to lay into him, because like I've this whole postseason run, I've just been like, most overrated for what? Like I've been so high on the Halliburton train, and to just see him just faltering a little bit under the lights. And yeah, I hear what everyone's saying. Yes, he hit the game winner in game 1, but if you actually look at his numbers and what he's actually doing,
yeah,
his assist averages are down. His field goal percentage is down. His perimeter defense per 100 possessions is down. Everything is down in the finals. This is supposed to be when he's rising to the precipice of it. He's supposed to be gripping it by the neck. Shea, he is absolutely he is killing it, and he's doing what I'd expect a leader of a team would do. But Halliburton, he's down across the board. I don't think there's one stat that is better across these 2 games compared to the rest of the final the postseason run. There's not one statistical category that actually matters that he has either stayed the same or gotten better in. Everything else, yes, it's early. It's 2 games in. They're both on the road. I wouldn't go over the top with it, but I would say that it is concerning.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you ask the Pacers, if after 2 games they're 1-1 going back home now for 2 games, I think they'd be pretty happy with where they're at, wouldn't they? I think that's pretty safe to say.
You split on the road, absolutely, and I don't think I don't like my intention isn't to just be like, oh well, they've completely blown it, but he has to look at this and think, I can do better. I can be more aggressive. I mean, it's like I was saying earlier on. The amount of times that he either went to sort of drive into the paint, or the option was there and he didn't take it, and he either deferred it or he just recycled it and it ended up going nowhere. I would rather you at least try to drive into the paint. If you miss 3 shots in a row when you've tried to drive in and it's either been blocked or you've just not got the angle there, fine. But he wasn't even attempting the shots. He was back cutting. He was playing like TJ McConnell. And that's no disrespect to TJ McConnell because he has been an absolute firecracker in this series already, like he has been all postseason. But what TJ McConnell does is he runs as fast as he can into the paint and tries to sneak one in there. And if it isn't there, he throws it out.
Right.
Halliburton was doing that, but he was getting up to the free throw line and he was already making a decision. I'm not getting in there, throw it away. And sometimes he was in single coverage where there was Alex Caruso. Shout out, by the way, what a game. 21 points off the bench. Massive Ty Turner. But Halliburton was getting into that position and he was making the decision without even really... I didn't see him even attempt one layup or dunk or anything in coverage. No contested layups, no contested dunks. He hasn't been doing that during the postseason. That Knicks series, AB, I hear what you're saying, bro, but in that Knicks series, there were plenty of contested layups that he was putting up. And yes, the defensive coverage is different. Yes, the defensive system and players that are available for the Thunder are different. But he was going and attacking the rim. Just because on paper they are better, why is he now not doing what he was doing in the semifinals? Or in the conference finals, rather.
Yeah. So pretty safe to say he'll be looking for a better all-around game in games 3 and 4 because now they're going to be at home, guys. I think it's pretty safe to say, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
You'd have to... Obviously, he's had the whole home fans behind him anyway. So, yeah, I don't think... Yeah, it's not too fair to just pin it on him because Siakam was quiet as well. He could have done more offensively as well, especially in the first half. So, yeah. And obviously, guys like Obi Toppin, who had a great, apart from the first quarter, but he had a great quarters 2 to 4 in game 1, didn't really get it going as well. So, and you need the others to kind of like support that scoring load. But yeah, I mean, like I said, from the Pacers side of things, I think they got split in the final. Like, everyone counted them out. They shouldn't even be here in the first place. So, yeah, going back to Indiana with having already have a game under your belt is definitely something to take a hat off to. So, yeah, we'll see how they get on in Indiana in game 3.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I think Aaron Wiggins as well was a spark off the bench for OKC as well, contributed 18. So, they're getting contributing factors off the bench, guys, today. And I think they've won the rebounding because they got out-rebounded massively in game 1, didn't they, OKC? So they definitely sorted that out a lot more. I think they won it, actually, 50-48. So that's something else that they've kind of rectified a lot more. So anything else, guys, that you noticed about tonight's game?
Yeah, obviously with the rebound battle, today was this game was the first time we saw both Chet and iHeart minutes together. So obviously the Pacers went big with Toppin and Siakam. So I think Mark Daigneault counted with both iHeart and Chet, and that worked really well for them. Especially, I think it was in the third quarter where iHeart threw a lob for Chet, or was it Chet that threw it? Yeah, iHeart threw a lob for Chet. So yeah, that really got them going. And like I said in game 1, I said to you that they might have wasted a Lou Dort game with because he knocked out 5 threes, but then they got that sort of offensive output from both Caruso and Aaron Wiggins as well, who combined for 9 threes. So yeah, they really got it going. Even like Kenrich Williams, obviously statistically, you look at his box score, you might have not done too well, but he was very effective on the court. I mean, he's like their vet at the end of the day. So that was a good call from Coach David not to get him out there. And J-Dub, he was much better this game. I think when he was leading the second unit in the second half, they went on that run in the Halliburton. When Halliburton was on the bench, they went on a 19-2 run.
Yeah.
Went on a 23-point lead. Yeah. Aaron Wiggins obviously hit like a step back three and stuff like that as well. And there was a point where J-Dub and Shea, they scored or assisted 32 of OKC's opening 47 points. So that's what you want from your 1-2 punch, basically. So he stepped up to the plate as well. Chet Holmgren as well. He really got it going. He scored like the most points. So he scored 6 points in game one, and he had like 9 in like the first quarter. So definitely he obviously knew that game one output wasn't good enough. So it's good to see him getting it going. But it's a good win for OKC. It's expected, and we'll see how they get on in game 3.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, George. Any other points of note, man?
Yeah, I think AB's touched on pretty much everything there. Like the main thing for me was that I fully expected OKC to blow them out. The exact same thing happened. Well, obviously not to this proportion, but against Denver, obviously they dropped the first game at home to Denver and then blew the absolute pissing shit out of them in game 2. So I was already thinking that they were probably going to go and do the same thing. However, I think that there are questions on both sides now. I know I'm going against the grain, like I always usually do anyway, but I still don't like the Cason Wallace inclusion. I still don't think that's the right thing to do. And I remember hearing what you said, AB, as well on your the pre-finals show that you and Matt did. And I can remember you, AB, saying that you've done this the whole season, and now in the finals you're changing it. It's not usually a recipe for success. It isn't. That's usually the sign, and I want to emphasize the word usually. Sign of someone who's desperate or who doesn't really know what their best lineup is. Which, for Mark Daigneault, I've sung his praises for a long time. But I understand why he maybe doesn't know the absolute best, because this is such a young group. It's so it changed. It probably with the age group he's dealing with. It probably changes every week in terms of what is his best lineup, because they're all progressing at different rates. There's some key factors I want to mention, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do another one of these before the end of the finals. Jalen Williams has been massively disappointing. He had a bit of a better night tonight, but I think he had a 30-point game in the conference semi-finals. He was a ghost in the conference finals. All right, he had a decent night tonight, but I say that more because I thought he was going to be the spark plug. I thought he was going to be Shea's Robin, and he was going to step up. And it's just got worse and worse and worse. And then, yes, he had a decent night tonight. Shea, 34. Fantastic. But you have to wonder, what's going to win the day? Is it going to be Indiana's collective effort, or is it going to be the OKC Thunder and Shea leading them and forcing them over the line? Because we really don't know that much, I don't think. I think we've seen that it was a really close game and the Pacers stole one, like me and Matt spoke about plenty. And now we've seen tonight that the Thunder have gone and turned them over, and they've done them good and proper. But we've not really learned that much. And I think Game 3 is going to be key to sort of seeing how this is really going to play out. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really, really good Game 3. I can't see it being a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, that's a fair point, bro. Yeah, like you say, Jalen Williams had 19 tonight, but he was 5 for 14 from the field. So not, but he went to the line 9 times. So that's probably where he's kind of made up for it in terms of his output and stuff. But I think the Pacers, I think, are happy. They've split the first 2 games. Like you said, George. OKC, apart from losing that game, that home game against Denver, they've blown everyone out at their place, haven't they? So for Steelers to steal game one, I think that they'd be pretty happy of where they're at. Not obviously completely happy, but to split the first 2 games, row, and now they're going to go home for the next 2. I think they're still in a pretty good place. But like you say, game 3 is always when they've split the first 2, game 3 is always a good one now to win, isn't it? To kind of keep the pressure on, or OKC if you want to steal back kind of home court, don't you? So it's going to be a fun one. AB, any other thoughts on this one?
No, just obviously OKC's great production, as I mentioned earlier, in Caruso and Wiggins, and it just goes to show that depth, man. Depth is just crazy because you've got 2 players that can combine for 9 threes and stuff like that, and we know that OKC, they're not, obviously they're star players, they're not like knockdown 3-point shooters. They can take them, but in terms of like, they're not regarded as shooters. I mean, Shea hit like 1 3, I think. Jalen Williams hit another one. So yeah, so to get that sort of production from your bench players, and obviously you can't rely on them to really get it going night in, night out. But when you have a night like that and it culminates in a win, you're feeling confident. So yeah, it just goes to show. I mean, we've spoken about this a lot of times about bench depth and things like that. So it just goes to show you got to use your whole roster sometimes. So yeah,
absolutely.
Shout out to Wiggins and Caruso.
So if you're Indiana now, AB, what things have you got to put right now for game 3 to get back on track?
You just have to listen. Halliburton has to get going. It starts off with Tyrese Halliburton. I'd say I'd want to see them exploit that Siakam matchup, because I think he's an X factor in the series, because he can be like a matchup nightmare. If they're starting Case on Wallace, I saw early he was trying to like post them up and things like that again. So if they can really try and use that to their advantage, then that could literally be an advantage for them. And like the Miles Turner thing as well. So I think on the call they mentioned one of the reasons probably why iHeart moved to the bench was he couldn't really defend that pick and pop 3 when Miles Turner would set a pick and then pop out for his 3-point attempts. And we know obviously he can knock them down. He can get hot and knock down 4, 5, 6 threes a game. So that's probably something to keep an eye out for. And yeah, just try and see, because in the end of the day, in the playoffs, it's all about obviously it's about matchups, but it's about how you can exploit your opponent. And we saw what the Pacers done when they killed Brunson. They got him in the action all the time. They're just killing him, like play after play, just play after play. So, and like I said, with OKC, there's no real like weak defenders, but when you have a size advantage like that and you have a player as skilled as Siakam, you have to just try and go for it. So I want to see them probably put him in action more and see how he kind of like gets on, maybe.
No, absolutely. George, I think it's pretty safe to say you're looking for a bounce back game from Halliburton, right, in game 3?
Unlike a lot of people, I say this as a Halliburton appreciator and a Halliburton fan. I want to see him elevate it and just go back to what he was doing before. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for him to take the game by the scruff of the necks. And I mean, I don't know what you two thought, but I thought the commentary was incredibly suspect. I was not a fan. It's not often that I make a case of it, but I just thought that Richard Jefferson could have done a lot better than he did. You're supposed to be, you're an advocate of the Players Association. You're supposed to be supporting these guys, and he just took a massive turd all over him, and I don't really understand why. But I do note that his co-commentator was Doris Berg, who is an embarrassment to the game, and I wish would never comment
my God.
on basketball ever again. But here we are. Aside from my little mini rant, I have to get that in, Matt. You know what I'm like.
You
Well,
chose violence tonight, George. You're ruthless tonight, bro. Hard
no.
man to please, bro. Hard man to please.
I still think that this is a great scenario for the Pacers. I think, you know, if you asked Rick Carlisle, you know, if you split the games going back to Indy, would you be happy? Yes, no question.
Cool.
No question whatsoever, especially considering that they pinched the first game and then got blown out. He's going to bite your arm off if you offer this scenario. So I think, you know, it gives them a couple of days now to plan, game plan time. You know, plenty of thinking, maybe an adjustment or two. And I think that they're good value for it, and they're well in there. They've really stamped themselves down, and I just want to see Tyrese doing something a little bit more, being more aggressive, because that's the one thing that this is missing. It's missing an aggressive Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Yeah, I mean, that's why we have Yonjo to give your opinions, bro. So yeah, that's where it's at, man. But yeah, so game 3 is on, I think, early Thursday. I think 1:30 tip-off UK time. So it'll be another late finish. So hopefully we'll be back for another game 3 reaction pod. Who will be the guest? Who knows? Might be doing it on my own yet. We'll wait and see. But thanks for dropping in, gentlemen. So AB, do you want to let people know where they can find you before we head out, bro?
Yeah, I'm on Clutch New Media. And one last thing, I just remember what George said. We got I don't even remember. We got a first quarter Mike Green bang call. Yeah, when Terry celebrated it free, and I was thinking, what? I was thinking, no way. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, man. But yeah, that's crazy. You got to save that. Like that should have been in game 1. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Whatever, man.
Yeah. He said I owe him one from the last game, I think, didn't he, or something? Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, Clutch Media reacting to the finals, and yeah, hopefully you'll hop on another one of these shortly. But yeah, it's been all good, man. Looking forward to game 3 of these finals.
Nice, mate. Good to have you on, AB, as always. And George, you want to let people know where they can find you? Give you some abuse about Halliburton or some other things.
Right there.
You did it right this time. Well done, bro.
There it is. Yeah, just throw me some shit on X or Twitter if you really want to go there. Well, I should be back Thursday, Matt. If that's when the game is. I don't know why I didn't realise when it is. But yeah, I'll be watching. So we'll see if I can cling on until the depths to see if I can join you again. So yeah, fingers crossed, mate. I'll be there.
Sounds nice one, man. Always a pleasure to have you on, George. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys. So I'm Matt at Post323. So you'll be able to listen back to, or you can watch it on Spotify, because we now have video on Spotify too. So you can either listen or watch it on Spotify, or also listen to it on wherever you get your podcasts, or you can rewatch it on YouTube as well. So stay tuned on the socials, guys. We'll let you know when we'll be going live. Hopefully, we'll be going live after game 3, early Thursday morning. So stay tuned for that. So take care, guys, and we will see you again very soon.